Welcome to the shop. I am the convicted Christian. I am 7 years clean. I did almost 10 years in prison, and now I am free and off parole. All thanks to God's love for me and the work that I put in to stay free, stay out, and stay clean. My first set of videos are all about the 5 steps that I used to stay out: accountability, responsibility, perseverance, healing, and God. And now my videos are basically just my experiences before and after prison, um, mostly focusing on the after, because my before doesn't matter because that person is gone. Last week I talked about the 3 things that I brought out of prison that I liked. And this week I'm going to talk about the 3 things that I brought out of prison that I wish I would have left in prison. And I think that a lot of people can relate to these. And I think that a lot of people that have never been incarcerated and or in trouble with the law, they may not understand that we go through the same thing. Us ex-prisoners, we go through the same emotional battles. We go through the same, just the same stuff. Uh, the first thing was fear. When I got out, I was afraid. I was afraid that I wasn't going to amount to anything. Um, that all my plans would never work, which they didn't. They probably weren't. You know, you look at all the successful people in the world, from scientists to, movie stars to rock stars to anybody. Even just, local small business people that are highly successful. You know, they failed probably more times than they succeeded unless they were very, very lucky. And I was letting my fear get away from me. And even making these videos, it took me 7 years. No, it took me 8 years. It took me 8 years to make my first video. And it was fear, and some other issues. I'm a extrovert. I'm great talking to people. I can talk to 3 people. I can talk to 3,000 people. I don't care because I don't have a problem connecting person to person. I struggle connecting with my phone basically, and I had to switch that mindset, and I had to let go of my fear. I had to, finally say, fail or not fail, I'm going to try. And now I'm trying to teach that to my children. And that fear just took over. And it helped. I stayed out of prison, obviously. I haven't been back. But it also held me back and made it so that I'm not as far along as I potentially could be, and I may not be in the spot that God had intended for me at this point in my life. Now I can't catch up, because I got to go with the pace of whatever is going on. If I'm looking for making connections, if I'm looking for uh, bringing people together, helping people, I can't just skip ahead anymore. I can't do it alone. I can't do it by myself. I do it with support from you guys. I do it with support of local people that believe in what I'm trying to do, and I gotta learn. I can't let my fear hold me back, and I can't let my ambition push me to a spot that I don't want to be in. The second thing was apprehension of going back. It took a long time for me to be able to have a cop drive behind me without absolutely freaking out. You know, anytime there was a cop behind me, I was glued to that rearview mirror, and which could have, endangered myself or someone else anyway, because I'm not paying attention to the road anymore. I'm paying attention to the officer behind me, and it could have got me in trouble anyway. If you're not doing anything wrong, cops aren't going to be after you. They're not going to chase you down. I learned to be grateful for the good cops, because if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here. They saved my life by arresting me, sending me to prison, and they saved the people that I would have hurt, albeit intentionally or unintentionally. And that apprehension really also held me back. I didn't apply for certain jobs because I figured that I wouldn't be able to get it because the company wouldn't want to hire a felon. I didn't talk to certain people that probably could have helped me further along in this passion of helping ex-prisoners and those seeking a better life after incarceration or jail or whatever. That apprehension made it very hard to want to stick my neck out, even if it was doing something the right way, even if it was trying to just help. I was scared and apprehensive about, well, where is that going to lead me? Am I going to end up back in prison? Am I going to end up back in jail? And I'm still letting go of that one. I feel like that's just kind of a human thing. Sense of wanting safety. Of wanting, that comfortable box. And even though my comfort box always had a little bit of stress, because for some reason that little bit of stress, I enjoyed it. It helped balance me out a little bit. It kept me in there. We need to break out of the boxes. We need to leave the steady for the potential future, knowing that it may not go the way we want it to go. And I'm still getting over that. I'm just as human as everyone else. The third thing I had to let go of, or I'm trying to let go of, and I brought with me out of prison, was my image of myself. You may see the toughest criminals you've ever seen, and they just seem like they are the most confident people in the world. More often than not, that was either a learned behavior before prison, while they were, acting as criminals, or it was learned while in prison to protect you, from other people, from circumstances and situations. But if you were to actually get those people to open up and be truthful about how they feel about themselves and about how they are actually doing, we typically feel pretty bad about ourselves. You know, we're pretty hard on uh, how are we doing? Um, Not great. Are we succeeding? Probably not. You know, we're always going to be that criminal. We're always going to be that prisoner, no matter how hard we work, no matter how hard we try. Sorry, I'm straightening up my shop. I'm kind of cleaning while I make this video. Um, it's been a mess. I've been working on some stuff. Anyways, back to what I was saying. And so we typically hold on to that image of who we needed to be because we can't let go of who we were in prison. In prison, it's a community like any other, and honestly, it's almost an easier community. No females for the guy side. I don't know if you're a female watching this that was in prison. I don't know how it is there, but for men, there's no women to fight over, so there's that. There are rules about what you can and cannot do and what you should and should not do uh, while there. How to talk to certain people, who to talk to, who not to talk to. There's rules, there's guidelines. And in prison, it's very easy to be successful because there's clear cut, immediate consequences to bad choices. And most of the time, you just want to be left alone. And to do that, you just follow the rules that the prison has, and you follow the rules that the prisoners have. And you get left alone. So, in your eyes, you were quite successful in your prison stay. And you could have 1,000,000 certificates, you could have 0 certificates. If you didn't get a ticket and you didn't get into a fight, you're pretty successful as a prisoner. Unless, you're in that prison life and that's what you want to do. Well, we hold on to that. And we get out and we do the same thing. We just do our thing, keep our head down, and try to get left alone. Well, then we get stuck. I did. Before I made these videos, I'm still kind of stuck. I'm terrified that I'm not the man my wife needs to be. I'm terrified that I'm not going to give my girls the life that they deserve because I either can't afford it or I'm not in the right place to give it to them in the way that needs to be done. And we got a third child on the way. Because when I changed my mind frame from the very loose-minded criminal to the almost too rigid, tight mind of being out, staying out, being a good father, my view changed about what success is. And a lot of people say, I tell them my story, we talk, and, we chop it up and have a good time. And they say, well, you're successful. You went from being, a prisoner that couldn't stay out for more than 4 or 5 months at a time to you've been out this long, you're clean, you haven't committed any new crimes, you got a car, an apartment, a wife, kids, stuff like that. Sure. I'm a success looking from where I was. But looking at me, if this was where I started from, I've been stagnant. That's why I started making these videos. Part of the reason why I started making these videos. You know, I'm not out to make money. I'm not out to become rich. I want to I want to provide for my family. I want to support my loved ones, and I want to help others. That's what I want to do. And I can't do that with that prisoner mindset, that prisoner success story that I had when I was in. I need to make a new story. And when I got out, I didn't think I could. And I brought that with me. Despite making the right changes, despite changing the way I thought about stuff, I I couldn't shake it. And I'm slowly starting to, and maybe once that finally goes away, this will blow up. You know, by two videos ago, you guys just blew me up, and I was so excited and so thrilled. There was rash of comments, for me at least. If I mean it's maybe a total of 5 comments, but that put me over the moon, y'all. It really, some people asked some questions. They asked, they made some statements, and I think that it it really just gave me new vigor and sorry, I had to plug my phone in. New passion to keep going, because it seemed like it really hit a resonance in people. So those are the things I brought with me out of prison that I'm slowly trying to shake. And I wish I hadn't. I wish I had prepared for that more. But I had never gotten out of prison with the thought process of never going back. Yeah, I'd always failed. I'd always gone back. And so now that I knew that I wasn't going back, now I know what I need to change, and I know what I need to work on. It still falls within the steps. I gotta start my steps over again, and I do that. I have to do that every day if it need be, until I get past what I need to get past. So I wanted to talk about something that came to me for those guys coming out of prison, or someone that's been estranged from family and is trying to make their way back. Don't forget the small things. Yeah, if you can take people out on a trip, if you can, buy them the world, that's awesome. And they're going to enjoy that. But if you've got a kid that loves, I don't know, Paw Patrol, if you buy or make, or someone gives you something small like a Paw Patrol keychain, and you give that to your kid, they are going to remember that more than that trip. It's going to cement in their mind, my dad, my mom thinks about me. They remembered that I like Paw Patrol. My wife, she's got this Advent wreath, and there's a little statue of Mary in the middle, and the wreath covers a little over half of Mary. I mean, we made a joke. My kid's favorite song is Going on a Bear Hunt, and we joked, and we were all like, well, it looks like Mary's going on a bear hunt. And something small that I can do for her, that yes, she probably could have bought something, could have made something, could have figured out something else, or just left it, but something super small, just I made this little thing on my lathe. It's going to sit right in the middle of the wreath. Mary's going to sit on top. And it was wood that I had no other use for. Something small. But she's going to appreciate it. She's going to appreciate that more than something I bought her. And it's small. Took a couple hours, all in all, to glue up, turn, shape, polish. But what's a couple hours to see a smile on your loved ones' faces? What's a little bit of effort to create a deeper bond with those that you want that deeper bond with? Don't forget the small things, guys. Don't forget the things that are going to have more emotional connection than just taking a trip, than just buying some extravagant gift. That's what we need to focus on whenever we want to create lifelong friendships. One comment that I got that I enjoyed, and I enjoyed answering, I don't want to butcher the name. If you're watching this, you know who I'm talking about. But the question was, why does God allow so much evil into the world? And there's biblical verses and whatnot, but if you don't believe in the Bible, those mean absolutely nothing. So I created an analogy for it. Let's say you are a builder of homes. You build homes for people, and your neighbor contacts you and says, "I need a new home." And you say, "Okay, how do you want it?" And they say, "Make whatever you want." Okay. So you build this home. And you're not gonna charge anything. You're not gonna expect anything, and you just want to do a good job. And you build this beautiful home. Everything that anyone would ever want is in this home. You hand the keys over to your neighbor, and your neighbor commences to absolutely destroy that home. Even though you are the builder, once you handed the keys over to that new owner, do you now still have the right to go in there and fix it? Do you want to go in and fix it? Or would you rather hope and pray and believe that these people that own this house can change and make it better for themselves and come back to you and ask you for help, since you're the one that built it? I believe that God has limited his power in this world because he gave us custodianship over it. It is ours to fix, and it is ours to destroy. We are the ones that bring evil into this world, and we are the ones that need to take it out just as much. We can't blame God for evil when we know that it was a human that did it. This is our planet. This is our world. God could, if he wanted to, he could either take away everything and take ownership over the world again, or he could take over us so that we only did the things that were right and good. But if he did either of those things, we would either be parasites, basically, upon his world that he now has ownership over again, just worried if we're going to mess up and he's just going to blast us off of it, or we would become lifeless, loveless robots that only did what we were told. And I don't think that's what God's plan was. He wants us to either fix it ourselves, which we've shown that we really can't do, or go to him and ask for help so he can fix it through us. And like I said, I wanted to, anytime there's a good question or something that I believe should be replied in person, I will reply to the comment. I'll also reply in a video. So if you would like to support me or hear your comment, question read, shoot it to me. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I will give you the best possible answer I have, and I will feature you in the next video. We had that one moderately successful video, very successful for me, to say. Let's keep it rolling, guys. Come on. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. All I would really ask is a follow, subscribing, whatever the free one is, and to share it and comment. If you really want to support me, that is going to help. It'll get these videos in front of more eyes. It could either create context for me that will help, really get things rolling, or it will help someone that I may never even know, which is fine. I don't need to know anybody. I don't need to know that someone was helped. I just hope that these do help. But I need y'all's help. So, like I always say, get in. We are still ground floor. Like I haven't even poured concrete yet. Get in while the getting's good. And I really hope that everyone's having a good day. Good night, good morning, whatever time you're watching this. And I hope that tomorrow is even better. If we're going to change the world, we have to change ourselves.